There is a group of people who struggle with clutter a little more than others. Do you ever find that you are overwhelmed as the day goes on, or that you spend a lot of time looking for things? Is stuff dominating your life? Have you stopped having people over because you are ashamed of the mess? And do you start each day feeling like you want to get organized, but you feel defeated by the end of the day because you can't? Or do you have anxiety? Now, balancing life can be a bit more of a struggle for some, and things like housekeeping, organizing, planning, booking appointments, remembering things, staying on task can be a challenge for all of us. But for people with ADHD, anxiety, or other neurodiversities, it's more of a struggle. Now, as for ADHD, the causes are debatable as well. Some say it comes from genetics, trauma, or both, but regardless, the clutter that comes from it is real. But there is nothing wrong with having ADHD or these other neurodiversities, but the brain just works a little differently and you have to work with it. Now, if this is your first time here, my name is Robyn. I help overwhelmed people, maybe like yourself, simplify life through decluttering, planning, and productivity so you can relax and enjoy life. All right, grab your tea and let's go. Now, maybe that sounded like a workmate, a family member, your child, your best friend, but ADHD and other neurodiversities are everywhere, and they affect both sexes equally. But ADHD is often mislabeled as a male disorder, which is actually not true. And now more and more women are being diagnosed so they can actually learn how to deal with their own brain and get things done so they can be productive and really enjoy life. Now, the things I listed before, housekeeping, planning, appointment keeping, they are all called executive functioning. And these are things that make life run smoothly. Now, people with ADHD have trouble with executive functioning. And like I said, it's not their fault. And this video is not going to be all doom and gloom. I have strategies for people with ADHD, anxiety, or other neurodiversities. Or if you just want to get organized and decluttering down pat. Now, organized or controlled chaos is a term you may hear from time to time. My husband and 2 of my kids have ADHD. I myself have tendencies. I really have trouble focusing on presentations. My mind wanders. I've never been diagnosed. I don't know if I have it, but I do know that I have to work really hard to keep organized and to be productive. So I know what organized chaos can look like because in my house, let me tell you, sometimes it gets a little crazy. Now, according to the Attitude Inside the ADHD Mind website, the vast majority of people with ADHD struggle with clutter. So how do you know if you have a clutter problem? Well, when is it dysfunctional? So when you have to replace items that you can no longer find, or when you spend so much time looking for things, and let me tell you, I have spent so much time looking for my husband's keys or his wallet. Or when it infringes on other people's spaces. Now, one of the reasons is that many people with ADHD leave items out as visual cues or reminders. Now, the lovely Jessica from the How to ADHD YouTube channel, she says she keeps things at the point of performance. This is a great method of keeping on task because you keep things right where you need them so you don't get distracted. So she keeps all of her coffee stuff in the same spot. We actually do the exact same thing. We keep everything we need near where we use it. We keep all of our tea and coffee supplies right where we need them, right by the kettle, right by the coffee maker. So it's easy to get things done. However, without strategies to keep areas clean or to put things away when not needed, that's when problems can develop. If you leave too much out, you can't leave everything out as a visual cue because then it just becomes clutter in your mind. You're not going to be cued and it's going to probably bother the people around you. So what if your own clutter or messiness is affecting others? Well, clutter from a family member can cause stress, anxiety, and disagreements. Now, in all fairness, those around you might not appreciate your unique organizational style. Now remember, family should not declutter for someone else. If you live with people who are neurodiverse or have ADHD, do not throw away things. You need to work with your family member. If you are the one with the clutter, you need to ask your family not to declutter for you. Instead, ask them to work with you. Explain that you have things organized in a messy way, but that you want to learn how to manage the clutter and you don't want to affect them. Say, I get it, I'm working on it. Now, here are some habits that can help you stop being overwhelmed by clutter. And I have a PDF that you can download because you might not remember these, and take a screenshot with your phone. I don't recommend printing things out. Just take a screenshot with your phone, make it your home screen for a little while until you can really integrate these habits. Have containers and baskets for certain items, and then be diligent about what goes in those containers. Don't let anything else in there. Like we have ones for our masks right now, or for gloves. Keep things in the same spot all of the time so you always know where they are. I always have my keys right at the front door. I know where my purse is. I know where everything is. Unfortunately, in my house, everybody in my house knows where I keep things, so mine is the stuff they grab first, but I'm working on that. Keep a few garbages on every level. We have one in every bathroom, one in our kitchen, one in our rec room downstairs. Also, reward yourself for a job well done. When you are really getting things on habit and you are decluttering things and you are remembering things, reward yourself. For me, obviously it's gonna be tea, but you do what works for you. Also, make sure that you're entertaining yourself. Any of my students can tell you that I am always telling them, put in AirPods so you are entertained while you work. Make it so much more enjoyable. And I recommend spending just 15 minutes every day putting things in the proper spot, taking out the recycling, the garbage, and just doing a little bit of light decluttering. In our house, we do this every day at 7 o'clock. So set a timer on your phone so that you do not forget. Timers are going to be your very best friend. I have my teenagers set timers for, like I said, getting things ready for the next day, when to do their laundry. I set timers for myself for everything. I have one for when to water my plants, and it just goes every Wednesday, forever. I have one set for when to declutter my photos, which is Friday at 4, because I know I'm probably sitting down drinking tea and I can spend 10 minutes decluttering some photos. And I have them for all sorts of things. I even had one set for me to remember to book my son driving lessons. Also, you don't want to be making your brain remember all of these things. If you think about it historically, why do we expect ourselves to remember all of this? If you think back, like way back in history, how many things did people have to remember? Not near the amount, absolutely not near the amount. So don't make your poor brain have to try to remember everything. Nobody should. And set aside time every week for planning. Look at your calendar for any appointments, any school or work events coming up, plan your meals, set a reminder to pay your bills, and look at your finances every month. Set a timer for when to do your planning. My point is, use your phone and timer for a lot of things. And I use my planner too. And like I said, reward yourself when you stay on task. When you actually get your stuff done after a certain amount of time, give yourself some kind of small little reward. I am obviously very motivated by tea, but even if I'm like, I'm gonna sit down, put up my feet and watch a little bit of like Tasting History with Max Miller or like Abroad in Japan, any of my favorite YouTube channels, that is my reward. Another thing is I love the Pomodoro method when I am doing anything that I might get distracted from. This is such a great method. So I put 25 minutes on a timer, and then after that, I have a 5-minute break. You will be amazed at how much you can accomplish in just 25 minutes. And do not allow yourself to be distracted. So when I am working on a script for my channel, I will pop in my AirPods and I will just put on spa music from Spotify or Apple Music. And it's a really mild, relaxing music. And I just set a 25-minute timer. And I will not allow myself to do anything but the very task at hand. I turn off all notifications unless it's like an emergency, then those can get through from like my husband. And then I am so productive in those 25 minutes. And then I have a 5-minute break. So I'll like go outside, look around, whatever. The main thing to remember though is that ADHD and neurodiversities are not bad. In fact, in a lot of cases, they're a gift. But they may just need a bit of a different, more structured approach. So to really nail down your schedule and not miss any more appointments, check out this video here. And this is when I explain how I use my planner and my phone to keep track of everything. All right, I will see you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye.